Yesterday I said, I will get rid of the military when I become president, and they will become the police. And like, I feel like all morning I was sitting there going like, maybe I shouldn't follow my words. Like, Ali warned me, just because you said something doesn't mean you have to do what you say. Like, you might not be able to get rid of the military. It's that difficult because the military does have 1 million people in it, and there are that many weapons, and there's that much money that goes towards the military, and I have to stop Israel from what they're doing, like this brain hacking type stuff. Like, and it's not just Israel, it's like the most powerful people in the United States. And so, like, I have to figure out how to, like, stop the most powerful people, like, all over the world, and it's an international problem. It's a military problem. Like, they're that in charge of, like, guns and stuff like that all over the world. And they're people that are very difficult to get to. Like, we have to figure out how to get to them in Israel. We have to figure out how to get to them in the United States. Like, we have to stop these people that have this neural interface technology that allows them to have an AI computer constantly transmit audio data into people's heads and constantly brainwash them. And like, they can also physically talk into someone's head through a microphone. And and they're also controlling the internet that much. And they're controlling spying on the internet, and they're very into hacking. And so we have to figure out how to stop these people. And if I get rid of my military, then how am I supposed to stop them? And the reality is that I think that this is an international problem. I think that we can all agree that we have to stop these people, and it's not just an American problem. And so I do think we'll have troops overseas. I think you can support people financially. I think you can support people like with your information, like with your intelligence gathering. But I still kind of have this intuition that tells me, like, if my military isn't in China, then I don't have to worry about somehow ending up in a war with China. And if my military is not in Russia, then I don't have to worry about being in a war with Russia. And I'd rather just not go to war with these people. And if I want to make a very clear message to them and say, I'm not going to war with you, I'll turn my military into police. And my police will have certain things, and that's why all morning I've been trying to figure out like what to do, like how to do police. So my opinion is that, like, if we get rid of the military, then we have to figure out how to give the military jobs, and we have to do things with the military. And like I said, there are 1 million people that are members of the military, and they're all able-bodied. Like, they have to pass a physical test to join the military. So like, there are people that can work and that we can do like engineering projects with them. Like, it's not a big deal having them go and do construction. I talked about building this giant mountain near Los Angeles and moving salt water inland and causing rain. They're the type of people that could do framing of houses and stuff like that. Like, they'd be well off. But I'm still trying to figure out how to do Las Vegas, and like I'm still trying to figure out like how to, because I was talking about moving the capital of the world to Las Vegas. Like, I'm talking about moving like the United Nations basically to Las Vegas, and creating a very international city, and then that would be connected to Los Angeles. And I was talking about putting the White House in the Cosmopolitan. So like, if I did that, then I would have the police command and control center based out of the Cosmopolitan Hotel. So I'd have 1,000 hotel rooms in the Cosmopolitan for that, 1,000 in Treasure Island, 500 suites in the Palazzo, and 1,000 hotel rooms in the MGM Park that are for the police or like military, like they're combined. And their primary roles would be like IT network security, Las Vegas and Los Angeles intelligence, like so security about like what's happening in that town, like related to bodyguard services, especially like protecting people, border and Coast Guard intelligence. So like that would be like satellite type intelligence, which we would still have like the National Geospatial and all that crap, and like all the Air Force type people that are doing that. But we would also have a team there that would communicate with those people. There'd be a crime trend detection team, so that would be statistics on crime data that is being input from all over the United States and all over the world. There'd be an organized crime specialists that are working to stop the organized crime in the United States. That like is one of my priorities as president. Security services, which once again, that's bodyguard services. So just security people in general, and security for the building. And then Interpol, which is like international crime fighting. So like this would be kind of like a CIA type place, but then we'd be working with Interpol, and like we would all kind of be working together toward the same goals. So I talked about this board and like for the president, and one person on the board was chief police officer, and that would be the person in control underneath me. And then there would be like, and instead of like chief of police of the city, we would only go to the sheriff department level. I think the most difficult part of deciding the United States military is not going to be involved with military stuff anymore is pulling our troops out, because like, and also dealing with military bases, because I have like 500 military bases in the United States. And like, I look at Turkey and I'm like, oh, don't tell me I can't keep the Turkey base. Like, can I just keep the Turkey one? Oh, can I just keep the Sinai one? Maybe not. Why would you want to keep the Turkey one? It's because Constantinople, Byzantium, Istanbul, Turkey. It's access into the Black Sea. It's a shipping lane, and like, and that's like the one thing that I look at. I look at everything the United States military has, and I go, I do like the idea of protecting shipping lanes with the Navy, but I also think that like the country that lives there can protect the shipping lane, and then maybe they can have our military support them, like in the event that they're having piracy problems like they've had in this area of Africa, because people tend to want to take a boat through there for the sake of world trade. But like, I looked at it and there were like 500 military bases in the United States in the United States right now, and the ones that you really want, that you see the real estate and you go, you got San Luis Obispo, are the ones that you kind of want for Coast Guard. And I talked about like the military would still be Coast Guard, and the police would be Coast Guard, and it would be like a streamlined system, but then there are divisions instead of like different agencies. But I think that trying to figure out like what to do here is difficult. But I think that like, I mean, the fact that we have 119 bases in Germany is kind of crazy to me. Like, to this day, we still have 119 bases in Germany. Yes, we do. But then like, what are you doing? You're just saying like, here, Germany, you get the real estate that we took during World War II. I guess that's what you're doing. And it's the same thing with Japan. You're giving them like really nice real estate in Japan, which makes sense. I think you probably do want to do that. Guam is an American territory. Like, we would still have that. It's kind of like a Coast Guard location, and Puerto Rico is an American territory. So what do we do with military colleges? They're the same. Like, if we want, we could do them more engineering based, but they would still offer like military college classes, like military strategy type stuff. And but the majority of the military places would be like police training centers. We still have to maintain like knowledge of like how to use the artillery and stuff like that, because the police don't really use artillery. Police don't really use like F-35s and stuff. But the police do use. So the last thing I could do is go through the police force divisions that I thought we needed to have, because like, there's one police force, it's called the police force, and that includes Department of Homeland Security, FBI, which it's the FBI. Like, what is the FBI right now? They're federal law enforcement. Like, they're in charge of all law enforcement theoretically. And like, to them, the Attorney General of the United States is what to the states the Attorney General of a state is, but they really do have like assistant district attorneys kind of, and then there's like, because there's the Attorney General, and then there's the DA of your city, and then there's the assistant DAs, which are who you interact with generally. But like, I see this as like, the FBI is everyone's under the FBI, but then there are divisions, like, and like I said, like right now we go to like county level, and then there's city level. So there's a chief of police for the city, and then there's a sheriff for the county. My opinion is that there just needs to be a sheriff, which could be the chief of police for the county if you like the name better. And so like, they would still all have the same like software, like the software that they use to input data, and like, I mean, they would still have regions. Like your job isn't to go outside your county. Like you don't patrol outside your county. But in the event that they do patrol outside the county, like, or that something happens outside the county or at the county line, it's not a big deal for them to arrest someone right across the county line, because they're still working for the same police force. I think that's silly that they can't do that. But there'd be a lot of divisions, like including financial investigations and fraud prevention, which like financial investigations might primarily be based out of that Horseshoe Hotel that I was talking about before. Which I hadn't even thought about, like including that, because I was going to have 1,000 rooms in the hotel Cosmopolitan, 1,000 in the Treasure Island, 500 suites in the Palazzo, and 1,000 hotel rooms in MGM Park that are dedicated to the Police Command and Control Center, because the Police Command and Control Center would be out of Las Vegas. It would be like a lightweight Pentagon, but it's like a lightweight FBI, because the FBI is huge. Like the FBI building is like so freaking massive. And the Pentagon is so freaking massive. And so like we would like take the critical components of those, put them in Las Vegas, and they would still be working with the FBI office in Washington, D.C. and the other FBI regional offices, because like this has station chiefs, and like the FBI has station chiefs. So there's like San Antonio station chief, Denver station chief, there's Los Angeles station chief. There are station chiefs for Kansas City, like Washington, D.C., New York City. Like all these cities have station chiefs for like major population areas, so that they have major offices there. And so like those, I view this proposed Police Command and Control Center for the military, like, because the military's gone, and now it's like it's the Pentagon, like it's all sorts of like police operations, and then we're changing the law, so like we don't, like the police wouldn't be hated, like, because like when a police officer comes around, you're not afraid of them because they're not trying to bust you because do I smell like weed. Like if a police officer's around, it might be because you got burglarized, or like there was a shooting, or like someone got stabbed, or like there was a fight, or like you called them, like, because that's included in this is 911 services, and like I kind of view the police as like generally, like if it's not an emergency call, they're showing up like with a concealed weapon, wearing a polo t-shirt and some khakis. Like they're wearing a black polo. It says police force, and that's all it says on it in tiny letters. And because the logo needs to, we're not using a logo. The logo is just 2 words, and they've got a gun that's hidden, and I kind of see them that way, versus like them showing up with a gun out. Like I think there's no problem with them showing up with a gun out, like in the event that they get called, like, oh, I'm getting robbed. But I would like them to show up more like a federal agent might show up, which is like wearing a polo shirt for investigations. But like I think that's in an ideal world. Like in an ideal world, like I guess probably a European would say, the police don't have guns at all. And like I definitely see them as having guns, and like I think that 911 calls are like, it's kind of difficult, like having an investigator respond to a 911 call without having like guns and stuff. So I don't know, like I think that I have to try to figure out how to not be an idealist like while I'm doing this, because like I mean, just like, because I do see the police as playing a different role in our society. Like right now, I think every single person like views them as the weed police and the DUI police. Like the moment like a police officer comes around, it's like, no, not the police. And I think that like that's not how we should feel about it. Like I think the for the most part, like the police should be people that leave us alone. But like I do think that they should be doing investigations, like red flag investigations. Like a person on the internet is constantly saying like, I want to kill people or something. Like maybe they should be under surveillance. Like, and I included North American Defense Force because I kind of reached that point where I was like, we've got to maintain some sort of military, and like we need to have no